Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Food Empowerment Project, and you can help me help them help the animals by donating to our fundraiser here on Twitch, visiting their website, which I've posted in the chat, or simply by watching my streams and bringing your friends, because I'll be making my own donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. If you enjoyed today's stream, please support my creative work by becoming a Twitch subscriber to remove ads and get cute emotes, joining my Patreon to get illustrated postcards and prints in the mail, or sending me some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. Links to all of these are in my Twitch About section or in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for more illustration, and I'm back to work on my Onomatopoeia bees piece. We are so close to done refining these lines. I remember from last time, that is yesterday, I needed to work on this bee and flower combo here. And as I've been looking at this in the minutes leading up to live time, there are a couple other changes that I've noticed that I'd like to make as well. So let's get started on that. First thing we'll do is work on that bee in the bottom. So I'm gonna rearrange my physical workspace here so that I can use my tablet. And we'll zoom in. Let's see, what I've been doing about 200% most of the time, I think, for this, and we're just erasing or adding depending on what seems good. I don't know if you heard that grunt, but that was my big dog Aoife. You can see her feet in the top of the secondary camera, that top right camera there. You can see her feet. She did a little grunt just now. I don't imagine that this cleanup and refinement work is the most entertaining thing to watch, but we're very close to moving on to a more flashy step, which is adding the color, the flat, basic color to everything. And I was also thinking about that as I was getting ready for a stream today, and I think I'm going to go with white for the flowers. Most often I see a more purplish pink, but they can be white. They can also just be light pink. But since my bees are not going to be normal bee color, they're going to be rainbow color, having white flowers lets the bees shine in this illustration. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, fans on my PC tower ramping up early today. I didn't even do this yesterday. There's actually several things that I thought of as I was waiting for stream time to arrive, such as double checking that I separated all the bees from the flowers. And also just looking at the whole image to make sure everything looks good. Just taking some moments to view it. Let's just erase this whole part here. Let's thicken up this line so it matches better with the other parts of the line. Oh, and this is supposed to be... I might just get rid of this. It's a little too close to the B. There. That's good. Okay, so that task is done. There's plenty more to do though. Let's turn on the stroke effect. We're gonna look for, I'm gonna just start at the top corner because that feels better to me. Start at the top corner. We'll go down to 100% zoom though. We're going to look for any stray pixels that I may have missed. So this is purely a cleanup activity, especially in areas where I erased or added a lot. Because I might have created stray pixels while erasing or adding. Which means I have to really concentrate right here. It's so involved. So much going on. Some things like here, I'll just leave these because they're just part of the brush effect. That dry brush effect. Okay, moving over. And at 100%, it's nice because we can just do this in 3 passes. Here's one I'll get rid of. That was also a dry brush dot, but it was so far away. I didn't like it. Get rid of it. Ah, here's some. I think these ones might have been created, because I'm pretty sure I redrew this whole section. Oh, and I see an area where I'd like to add a little bit. Smooth that out. I wish my chair didn't creak, but it does. Sometimes I see my cursor and I think it's a little speck, but it is a speck, but it's not the thing that I'm trying to erase. And of course, worst case scenario, If I don't catch all the little stray specks, it's fine because I've gotten most of them. And there's going to be so much going on in this piece by the end that no one would notice at that point. I just like to do the best I can at each stage because I truly believe that all adds up in the end to create the best possible illustration I can offer. I don't think we need these two. Whoopsie, I'm in the wrong kind of brush. I don't think we need these two. We've got enough dry brush going on without those. Let's get this one too. Even though they're in a line here. In fact, we'll just take this too. So small compared to the lines next to it. We'll just take it. This isn't a speck, but it's a little bit sticking up that we could smooth out. Here's another little bit that could be smoothed. If you look in the secondary camera, Aoife's having a dream and her little feet are twitching. Okay, save real quick. That's another step done. Are you barking in your sleep, Aoife? She is. Wow, look at her feet go. She's having quite a dream. It's still going. The dream continues. Okay. Something I noticed before the stream that I wanted to address is how there's no fuzzy line right here. It should be the same sort of arc from this side as it is on this side, but it's just kind of missing. So we'll just add in a couple, oh, if I would be on the normal mode, add in a couple strokes. There, that's all we needed to make it even from side to side. Another one I wanted to do, which this shows the fun and unique possibilities of digital work. We're gonna turn this bee because right now, zoom out so you can see what I mean, it's on almost the same path as this bee here. And maybe that would happen, but I went out of my way to try to get all these bees to be going in all sorts of different directions. So I want to just turn this a little bit. So we're going to go to transform and we're going to rotate. we're just going to turn it just a little bit so that it's on a slightly different trajectory. Let's see, this is on deselect, deselect. Let's zoom out and see what that looks like. So we've got this one going this way. This one's going kind of, but not the same angle. It's not parallel because we were facing a little bit more to the left. And this one's going in the opposite direction anyway. This one's going up. This one is also the same as this, so maybe I'll change this fellow too. I think to help me visualize what's going on, I'm going to make a layer on top just for reference. Let's make it a nice bright color that we can see. And the brush, make it bigger. So we'll see what direction everybody is going. So this bee is going this direction, this bee is going this direction. This bee is not going a direction, but it's facing a direction. This is the person we're thinking about moving. So right now we've got a couple bees going in the same direction. This bee in the bottom middle and sort of the, well, it's the upper left side of the page. They're both going in the same direction, but they're very far apart from one another, so I don't feel as much like it's a little too much. These two being the same direction, that felt like too much because they were right next to each other. These two might not be as much of a problem, but there's not really anything in between them, even though it's far greater distance between them. Let's see, going down this way. This one's very similar. We just changed it though, but it's very similar. No one is going this direction to the upper left. So let's change this little fellow to face the upper left. About whether maybe that's a little bit too much because it makes kind of a T shape. So maybe something like this. And we'll look at this area. Yeah, that's good enough. So go here and change to clear. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. No, that's not what I want. I want to be on the B directions layer. There. Now we have more directions covered too. That's good enough for now. For the B directions. Now I'm just giving the whole image a look to see I wonder if turning on the plain white will help. It's actually making it harder. Get that green back in here. It's more gentle on the eyes. At least when you're looking at it from my point of view on my big tablet monitor. I think that might have addressed everything that I noticed. The rotation of that bee and then that other one that I noticed, and the fluffiness of the bee on the upper left. Oh, yes, I wanted to double check that all the bees are separated as far as the lines go from the flowers, because I might have thought of doing that later in the process and didn't get everyone. So far it looks good though. This person isn't separated, so let's do this person. Let's get my color back to black in case I decide I need to draw instead of erase. I think I was on about 7 pixels. So maybe I'm going to erase a little bit of that line that I just drew, but I want this separation. Ah, yes, and this is an opportunity to add a line back. So it's just not touching though. Want a line there, but not touching. Okay. Ah, we didn't do this bee. I was like, I didn't even think about it. This was definitely after I had decided I wanted to do that, but... Oh, the laundry's done. That's what that is. I was so happy to get a singing washing machine when we moved into this house. We got a new washer dryer when we moved in. And I definitely wanted the singing one. It's so cheerful. Helps turn a chore into a joy. Aoife did a big sigh, and then I heard Chappie do one. Chappie is my little dog. She's over in the tertiary camera. All spread out just like Aoife. I think they're flopped out like that because it's a lot warmer this week. It's starting to get so warm I might have to take my Deku blanket off of my bed. I didn't remember at all to do this one. It's so nice to be able to take my time now and not feel rushed, because this is the kind of thing that would just slip my mind if I was in a rushing mindset. And then I don't feel satisfied with the piece later when I notice that there's this inconsistency. think I'll turn the stroke layer back on after I'm done with this too, because there's big potential for missed pixels. This is especially useful here because these legs are so small that even though I know they're supposed to be there, it's a little bit hard to see them. That's the whole point of creating this separation, is to make it a little bit easier for the viewer to recognize each piece of this visual puzzle. This is a leg, and this is the fuzzy part of the leg. There's another fuzzy part. Oh, that one's already good right there. Oh, and we've come all the way around. Let me zoom out. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, somehow I missed. Oh, that's why I zoomed out. Missed these ones right here. I just skipped right over them. Yeah, another reason to allow myself to take my time. Takes a lot of cognitive energy to do what I do. But as long as I have time, that cognitive energy bar refills. See a little tangent here with the lines that I'm not good at rid of. Right here. Let's just connect these lines right here. There, that's better. I could do the same thing here too, actually. Make it a little thicker and then we'll erase this part. There's a tangent here too. Let's just make this bigger. Whee! There. I was finding more and more stuff. Okay, let's turn the stroke effect back on too. For any stray pixels I missed as I was erasing or redrawing for some of these areas. I'm just following the outline of the bee. Oh yeah, look at them. Whole bunch of them right here. Oh, and I missed some spots right here. Oh, look at that. Here's one. It's not a missed spot, but I decided that it's gonna go. Here's a missed spot though. And here's one. And here's one. A little bit there. And here. Okay, back to checking on all the bees. I kind of want to start over because I forgot what all I checked. So I've checked this side. This one's good. And this little person here tucked into this flower. Okay. Then this one is good, and this one is good, and then I moved here. Okay. That one's good. So this person is a big one. Let's zoom out. Just it's too big. Since I missed so many spots on the one I just finished, I'm going to double check this bigger one. That looks good. This fellow isn't even touching anything, nor that one, nor that one. This one is good. Scooting over. So the next bee is actually this real big one. The other real big bee. The separation looks good. Ah, but this little bee here needs some. Not sure if you can hear the birds outside. They're quite lively again today. Okay, and the next bee is here. I think that one looks good. And the next bee is also tucked into a flower. Seems okay. Ah, here's another one. I just didn't do these real small ones that are underneath everything. And I think that's it. The rest is flowers. There was another thing I noticed I wanted to do, which was to extend this line here for the back end of this bee. Yeah, that's way better. I like that way better. Save real quick. This line here just looks like a mistake. So I'm going to take it away. It's not a mistake, but I don't want it to be distracting. That was Aoife doing a big snort, I guess. Is it just because I zoomed out, or did I miss a line here? I didn't miss it, but it's very close. So let's erase this one a little bit more. My stream isn't frozen. I'm just looking at the image, thinking. This looks good enough for now, for the lines. Yay! So let's go back to what I had started doing, which was creating flowers, everything. I wonder why I named it that. I don't remember why I named it that. Let's just name it flowers. And color in all the flowers to start. But like I said, I'm going to do white instead. What I was thinking of was pink, obviously, when I started adding color, but we're going to change that. So we'll do saturation, reduce the saturation, and we'll increase the lightness. Now I don't mind it having a little bit of its own color. It doesn't have to be pure white. That's probably good. Let's see what that looks like. What is that? Well, it's pretty close to pure white, though. Well, we'll leave it. It's fine. It's fine for now. This is just the base color to fill everything in. And then we'll refine it more later when we start doing shading, and we can adjust the colors of all the shading too. So some of what I've done already is going to be different, as you can see, because I changed the lines. So let's see, what was it? It was Alt click to copy the color. There we go. And now I've got this sweet clear thing still, so useful. that I learned this week. So, you know, like somewhere like here, we could just add another one in. This gap right here is so big. Sharpen it up a little bit. But a little tiny gap like this, maybe we just leave it. I had to double check that I was on the right layer. I do it quite often. Get really into whatever step and then realize, shoot, I did all of that on the wrong layer. I think sometimes I trick myself because I will, for instance, like I did just now, rename a layer, but renaming it doesn't necessarily select it. But in my brain's like, that's the layer we worked with last, so it must be selected. And it's not necessarily. At the end, I'll bring the stroke effect onto this layer so that I can see where maybe I need to add a little bit more color, or I've gone a little bit too far and it's really close to the edge, and maybe it's even peeking out just a little bit, but it's hard to tell. Stroke effect is so useful for that. I originally came up with that idea just to clean up little leftover marks when I scanned in a physical media piece, and then it ended up being a little bit dirty looking, and it would leave these small pixels of data that you couldn't see except under certain circumstances if it was displayed on a background of a certain color online. So it was really frustrating to me to have what I thought looked like a nice clean scan with a transparent background, and then I'd put it on whatever color, some sort of light gray or pink or something, and then it has all these little splotches suddenly in the so-called transparent background. So that's how I came up with using the stroke effect to detect those little things, but now I use it for all kinds of stuff to detect whether I've got a precision line or not. Precision application. So I'm in the wrong mode. This is only day 3 of using these blending mode shortcut keys that I programmed into my remote. So I'm still not quite used to it, but I'm sure that that will come with practice, because this is such a convenient way. Instead of switching from paintbrush to eraser tool or physically flipping my stylus around in order to use the back end, which it then switches to the eraser tool, I just have to press this button with my other hand, so it's much more efficient. See, what do I want to do here? 'Cause there's another big gap. Maybe I'll do this. Oopsie. Wrong blending mode again. Oops. Oh no, I don't like that line. I want it on this side. Oh no. There. Do a slightly bigger brush for a minute. Cover all this stuff. In fact, let's just do a bigger brush and then we'll erase away. Make this easier for this last little chunk. Maybe, maybe not. Let's try it. there was even more. I thought I'd got it all. There. That's not even all, but let's see, that'll be good enough for now. Whew, good thing it is almost break time, because I am starting to get warm again today. Blast it. There we go. Getting back up to summer-like temps. But it made for the most glorious morning this morning. Threw open all the windows, let that perfect temperature air. It's not exactly cool, it's not exactly warm, it's just ideal. Oh, did I get it all? I feel like I want to take this farther in here. Maybe same thing here too. Let's just go ahead and put this effects on here now. So this is what I'm looking for. Little areas where we could add more in. Oh, look, this would be better trimmed up too. Right there, I think. Oops. And here's just a little thin sliver where I didn't quite get enough coverage. Oops. I didn't mean to add a guide. That's what that was. That's why I try to keep it a little bit up like that. but it doesn't fit in there like that, so that's why I wasn't doing it. Okay, scroll down. Back to this lower stuff. Here's just some, whoopsie, some stray pixels. More stray pixels. Yay, good. Move down to the next flower. Boop. We're just gonna color everything the same color to start. And then we will add more variety and dimension later. We're just getting flat color on, well, the page. We're getting pixels on the screen. Defining the hard outlines even further than what the black ink lines have done. We'll treat this whole flower area with, there's two different flowers, but we'll treat it as a single unit. If necessary later, I will cut them apart. But for now, make it faster by treating all the flowers as one thing. And we don't need to worry about whether we're coloring on the bees, because the bees are going to be on their own separate layer above the flower layer. That slightly bigger one after all. Slightly bigger brush after all. This is a lot easier on the eyes with white on green with the black. The black and white by itself is really high contrast and tough to look at. The green with the black is also not the easiest, but it's a lot better. Now my eyes are feeling much more comfortable working in white. Oh, what is this? A little bit of pixel dirt? Yeah, it was. Got it. Yes, I'm finding it much more pleasant. Oops. And it will only get better as we add more and more color. Oops. I made the brush way too small. Oh, past break time. Well, there's still enough to do on this flower. Let's just go ahead and go on break. Take a nice 5-minute break. Stretch, refresh. I'm going to put my be right back sign on and be back in about 5 minutes. everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a great break. It's time to get back to work on this illustration. Coloring in the flowers with their base color. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. Get right back into it. I had a nice Soylent bar for my snack. Quite yummy. I love these brownie ones. Well, I think they're just called chocolate, but it's basically a little delicious high protein brownie. It's so yummy. There's only 2 left in that box, and we're moving on to another flavor as we rotate through the flavors. Had some water too. Wash it down with some nice cold water. Rejuvenate it. Did some stretching. Let's just color it all the way in right there. It's a tiny little space. Okay, I think this section of flowers is done, so we're going to turn on the stroke effect and check for stray or excessive pixels. Like right here, you can see it sticking out a little bit too far right there. The kind of thing where it might not make a difference, but it might actually make a difference once you get some other colors on and start shading and various different layers start coming into being. So I just like to be thorough at each stage in my work process, and then I have to do less editing later if stuff like that does show up. Here's a little mist section. Little tiny mist section. Okay. Turn that off. Move down. Do I want to move to the side? Let's move to the side. This one bud is just sort of sitting here by itself. We can do this one real quick. Should be really easy. I just make this really big and then we'll erase away on the edges. We can even go down to 200% for this one. Oh, I'm not on the right blending mode. Okay. Now zoom in and erase. Alright, I don't have to do that. Just switch blending mode. Still getting used to that. It's just as much drawing here on this step as it is filling in already drawn spaces, because I didn't outline every single shape that's going to be in the final illustration. Some of the shapes are going to be created, as you can see, by the color, by the blocks of color. So there's actually quite a bit of cognitive energy being spent on this stage in the process. In my illustration process, ooh, stray pixel. It's actually kind of exciting when I find those. It's like finding a little buried treasure or something, even though I'm trying to get rid of them. I don't have to erase all so that the pink doesn't appear out at all, because the pink is not showing where the pixels are, it's on the outside of the pixels, but it does help me. So now I know that the edge of this white right here is behind this black because there's no pink showing out either side. So it doesn't have to be super exact, but it does help to erase down on one side or the other. So we're done with that flower. Time to move down. Next flower. I'm gonna actually color into the bee on purpose here, since it's so fuzzy and I don't know exactly where I'm gonna end the bee versus the flower, where this fuzzy part is. So make sure that the flower is completely under there so that I can just freely add or subtract from the bee part when I get to that point. While I'm at it, let's use a really big brush for the middle of the flower. Save some time. Erase away some of this. That's probably good. Okay, back to the smaller brush. Maybe not that small. 10 pixels is alright. Say that the flower ends there on that part. I forgot to take my sweater off. When I left this room for break, it was cooler outside of here. I'm gonna take a second. It's now that time of year where I want to wear a zip-up sweater so that it's easy to take it on and off. I love hoodies. I almost live in hoodies. But this time of year, it's starting to get too warm at certain points. So the sweater I had on was a hoodie, but it's a zip-up one. It's also a thinner one. It's one of my thinnest hoodie jackets. A slightly bigger brush than this. there's a tiny little fly checking out my art here. And you can't see it because it's not a digital fly, it's a real fly. A itty bitty teeny tiny one. Interested in my work. Thank you for looking, fly. We'll see the flower ends about there. So now turn that effects layer back on. We'll go back up the flower in the opposite direction. Oh, that was the part that you could see the white pixels sticking out beyond the lines where they belong. Yay, save. Let's back up and look at our handiwork so far. Ah, it's looking better and better. Just having the flowers starting to be filled in. It's looking more and more interesting. Circle like this. trying to decide how to depict these empty spaces here. I think I like that. That's good. We'll go with that. See if we've missed anything or if we've overdone anything. And let's save it. Another flower complete. We've got this real big one. Let's zoom out. We'll zoom out to 100% to start, and then we'll do the edges more zoomed in. Oops. Let's put that on normal blend mode for my brush. We've got a nice circle shape, and now we'll add in around it. But not with that size. We'll go back down to a more reasonable size. Oh wow, Chappie just did a huge snort. Sometimes she does that because she's having a dream. Can't tell. I really like this texture on the outside of the bloom, the blossom. I don't know if I should keep it or if I should smooth it out so that it's more like everything else. Make it more consistent, because everything else has a much smaller distribution of pixels at the edge. But I think it might be best to erase it back a little bit. We don't have this one flower that's different from the others. That little bud is done. Okay, let's go around and smooth out this edge. Maybe, I don't know. Take away, or do I want to add? It might be easier actually to add more than to take away, because then I won't have to worry about erasing stuff that I don't want to erase. So we'll just make it a slight bit bigger. Maybe here I'll take away. There's definitely some I'm just going to have to erase when I turn that stroke effect back on. But for now, this is working good. The bulk of it. Way a little bit too much there. Yay! Oh, nope, I missed a little bit. Thought I was done with this one, but I missed a few little extra ones. Okay. Now, yay! I might reduce the circle on that later, but let's just keep moving forward. So, I can't believe it. We only have 15 minutes left. With that little time, I think I'll leave, as I've done in the past, this big flower. We'll leave that for a future stream, probably next week. Let's keep working on smaller ones, because I won't be working on this again until next week, so it'll make it a lot easier on future me if I don't have to work too hard to remember where I left off. If I leave off right in the middle of something like the big flower, there might be some little detail I was trying to do, or a step I wanted to complete before moving on to another step, but I'll forget by next week. So yeah, let's stick with these ones that are smaller, that I feel a lot more confident I can finish in 15 minutes or less. Guess it's alright. I'm just looking at the overall shape of the flower. I can always change it later. So I'll just try to focus on getting the pixels into the file, and we can refine it later if it seems like it needs it. Might even add more of these sticky outy bits. I don't know the official scientific name for this part of a thistle flower, but these long tubes that stick out, might add some more using just color, like I did on the fluffy spent flower. But that'll be great to consider next week after I have the weekend to think about other things and refresh my mind and let my brain come up with new ideas while I sleep for a few days. Not sleep for a few days straight, but go to sleep, wake up, and go to sleep for a few days. Another flower done. Save it. Let's see, we got some small flowers we can work on. There's this one here. So there's only 5 minutes left. So it will be wonderful if we can finish this in 5 minutes. It's so small, I feel quite confident that we can. It'd be nice if we had a couple minutes at the end to pull back and just take a moment to look at how far we've gotten today. And how far we've gotten this week with 3 illustration sessions a week now. Going to be able to make a lot more progress in a week. Even on these big involved pieces. And so far, I'm not missing the 2 hours that I took away from writing time for work on my novel. Still feel like I'm making just as much progress there as I've ever been. So that's how I was able to get myself some extra illustration time by taking it away from novel writing time. Oops, this is not what I wanted. I wanted this. Go. Ah! There we go. We'll just keep it a circle there. That's fine. I'm going to do something different here, but I can't figure out what these lines are meant to be doing, so I think I'll just leave it like that for now. And with that, we can call it a day. Yay! That's a little less than half of the flowers done, but it wasn't that we worked on the flowers the whole time, so it's still pretty good. Pretty good progress. Yay! Let's save. Alright, everyone. That's it for today's live stream. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for everything you do to support Studio Mikarts. If you're new to my channel and you want to see more, please follow Studio Mikarts on Twitch to get notified next time I go live. You can also support me by becoming a Twitch subscriber to get ad-free viewing and cute emotes, joining my Patreon for lovely illustrated goodies in the mail, or sending some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. All the links are in my Twitch About section and in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Tomorrow I will be back for Chibi Friday, so I hope to see you then. same time as always. But either way, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching.